My name is Matthew. I own a life and health insurance agency near Portland, Oregon, and I work primarily with seniors, helping them with their Medicare and retirement planning needs. Before I started working with KeyWave, primarily I met new clients either through a booth at a grocery store or other opportunities to do similar things, whether it was an event in a park or my very first year I was at a Walmart booth or something at a clinic. And then after that, I opened up this office retail location. So I do have an office where people can walk in here in a good spot in town, which is good, but not enough traffic, right? It's just it brings in traffic, but not a ton. So there's that. And then I've did some mailers. I've done I've purchased leads. I have done newspaper ads. I have ran other kind of ads in town, and some of them have been okay, somewhat successful, but a lot of it is kind of inconsistent or hard to depend on. And so there's a lot of frustration in spending money. There's a lot of lead vendors out there, and it's, in my experience, a lot of poor quality leads or things you can't, or people that you're really having a hard time following up with. And it's just, it was very frustrating before I found KeyWave. I was introduced to KeyWave by two separate people kind of at the same time. I had a friend of mine who mentioned it to me and told me what it cost and how it worked. And I had some interest, but I didn't really follow through with it because I wasn't exactly sure what path I was going to take next in my marketing at that time. And then I had a carrier rep come to me and say that he'd heard of this company from another rep that he knew, and he wanted to try it with select agents, and I was one of the agents he wanted to try it with because I'd been a good partner with them. I'm also a public speaker for a living and another thing that I do, so I have lots of experience public speaking, and I don't mind doing that. So a seminar format was not scary to me. It was actually sounded good to me. And so that carrier and I partnered together to do one KeyWave event, and it was fantastic results. And so it was kind of those two people bringing up KeyWave at the same time, and I thought, well, why not jump in and at least give it a shot? And I'm really glad I did. So I've had really good results with KeyWave. My first event, I think I had 21 people sign up and 16 or 17 people show up, which was exciting to me at the time. And I ended up writing, I would say over 50%. I ended up writing some business with throughout the year, where some of those were T65 and some of those ended up in my AEP pipeline. After that, I did 4 or 5 more events last year and some this year, and consistently I'm getting 15 to 22 or 24 people show up to my events. And from those, I mean, just last summer, I had quite a lot of revenue come out of my KeyWave events. I mean, a remarkable amount of revenue come out of my KeyWave events from not just the Medicare traffic, but from cross-writing other things and retirement planning, those types of things that ended up being very, very successful for me and the way that it went. And I've continued to do that. And the revenue that I average on each event far, far outweighs the cost by on average of, I would say, 15 to 20 times revenue is what I make back on the cost of the seminars that I'm doing. And that's not immediate, of course, because it's Medicare. So some people are ready. Some people take a little longer. Some people are not, 3 or 6. I even have some 12 months down the line. And of course, you don't write everybody, but I consistently write. I would say 70% of the people that show up to my seminars end up eventually doing some business with me, whether that's Medicare, annuities, life insurance, all of it. It just, the business kind of, it's right so easy once they meet you in person. They feel good about who you are. They see that you understand what you're talking about and speak clearly to them. And so I've had very good results with my seminars, as long as you do a good job following up with them as they enroll in your seminar and then contacting them to confirm that they're going to be there. As far as how I'm feeling about my business and my pipeline moving forward, consistently doing seminars with KeyWaves has helped me to keep a pretty full pipeline, to where before KeyWave, I didn't always know what my next campaign was going to be because I hadn't found something that I could consistently know that I was driving traffic to me on a regular basis. And I prefer meeting with people. That's why I have a physical office. And so I wasn't looking for somewhere I could just drive people to a Zoom meeting necessarily, but I was looking to drive people to me as an agent that is local. And for me, KeyWave provides a way to just keep my pipeline full. and packs my AEP pipeline, and just keeps me. I don't have to guess or wonder if I'm going to have business next month, because I have not had a KeyWave event let me down. People show up, people need help, and we write business. And as long as I consistently do that, I'm making way more than I'm investing, which makes this profitable for me and for my business and something I can count on. If you're thinking about pulling the trigger and working with KeyWave, but you haven't done it yet, I guess my advice would be to take the leap. I understand the hesitation, because I've been burned by lead vendors and overpromised and under-delivered before. And, it's no fun to spend money and not get return on your investment, and you can't stay in business that way. But I would say KeyWave is actually not that expensive to give it a shot one time. And if you give it a shot one time and you follow through and you do the things that they tell you you need to do as far as following up with clients, and you're prepared for your meeting and you do your part of your job, then you will be profitable. I would expect you to be profitable, I should say. And the risk the reward far outweighs the risk. It's definitely worth giving it a shot. And I'm so glad I did. If you're going to work with KeyWave, one thing you got to keep in mind is nobody's going to do your whole job for you. KeyWave does an excellent job of getting people to show up to meet with you at a very affordable cost. But you have to be prepared for that. And also, you have to do your part in following up as the leads come in and the people pre-register. If you don't contact any of them, people will still show up. I've done, in the very beginning, I wasn't sure what I was doing. And so I wasn't good at the very beginning and following up and calling every person right on time, and I still had people show up, but my show rate wasn't nearly as good as it could have been. It's still profitable events, but once I got the handle of running the system, moving people through the CRM properly so that they're getting the proper messages and following up with people and calling them, doing my part of the process before the meeting and then doing the follow-up after the meeting, my profits were much better. My show rates were better. And so just make sure that if you're doing this, you're not expecting somebody to go make your money for you. Just know that they're going to do their job very well at reaching out to clients and letting them know about your event and getting them to want to be there. And as long as you do your part and reminding your clients to be there, because we are working with seniors, I call them all the time, and I've called people and said, hey, I'm reminding you about our meeting tomorrow. And some people said, oh, I thought that was today. Oh, I thought that was next week, but I'll be there. And so they need those reminders more than just the digital reminder. They need the phone calls. And if you do that, people will come to your meeting. And as long as you're prepared to present, I don't think you should overthink it too much if you're not a public speaker or you feel like you're not a public speaker. Just make sure you know your material. There's lots of tools out there for compliant slideshows or whatever you're doing to have all the information you need, and just confidently deliver that information, and the rest will take care of itself.